Hi everyone. Today is Monday, April 13th, and today we're going to be starting our study of the book Wild Ones by John Mualem. This is one of my favorite books. It has to do with environmental science, biology, a little bit of physical science, and I love it because it's not a simple book about the environment and wild animals. It's a book that really digs into some of the complexities that surround environmental challenges and how we reconcile the world of animals with that of humans. So it's a good book, it's a fun book, it's an easy read, but it's a book that deals with a lot of complex issues surrounding science and environmental science. So today's assignment is simply to read the introduction or to listen to the audiobook. But before you do that, I wanted to start with a little introduction of my own. So the book is by John Mualem, and I actually emailed him last Wednesday. I emailed him directly because I figured, if ever there was a time where you're going to be able to email and talk to a famous author, it's probably right now. People have no shortage of time to check their emails. So I figured there was a chance he would respond, and I basically emailed him asking whether there was anything he wanted to tell the class. I said, we're a high school science class, we're in Dade County, Georgia. Is there anything you can tell us about this wonderful book of yours that we're about to read? And he emailed me right back about 20 minutes later, last Wednesday. Here's what he said. Hi, Nick. Thanks so much for writing. I'm sorry. I'm struggling to think of what I can say to introduce the book, though I really appreciate your asking, and I'm totally thrilled that your class is reading it. One thing I can say is that, while I was writing it, I tried very hard to make it different from a lot of other environmental books I had read, many of which I found pretty stale and boring and written from a perspective that seemed to have very little to do with my actual life. I also think that people writing about nature can easily slip into organizing everything they learn into oversimplified truths. Feel-good truths. I'm not really built that way. I didn't want the book to tie everything up in a tidy bow. I wanted it to untie bows and show you all the different strands that are actually knotted up very messily together. Hope it works for you and your students. Yours, John. So that's what he said. He said, basically, this is not your average environmental book. This is a book that digs into the complexity. And while it is, as you might expect from the cover, a book about wild animals, specifically, it has three parts. One is about polar bears. One is about the Lang's metalmark butterfly. That's an endangered butterfly. And one is about whooping cranes. Those are a type of endangered bird. So while it is a book about wild animals, it's also about humans. It's also about people dealing with wild animals and how we as humans are this strange duality. We're the only species that overhunts and overfishes and pollutes and sort of wrecks the planet, but we're also the only species that cleans up pollution and passes laws to protect animals and works to rehabilitate other species. So even within ourselves, we have this strange sort of two-sidedness of all the good we do toward nature and all the bad. And that's really what this book deals with. So today you're going to read the introduction, either in the PDF that's on Google Classroom or by listening to the audiobook that's posted on Google Classroom. You could also go to the link tinyurl.com/Mr. A Wild Ones, and that document will bring you the reading schedule and all the links as well. And you're basically going to read this first section here that sort of introduces the book, introduces John and his daughter, and sort of explains the three parts of the book that are coming up in those three different species, and sort of leads us into what's really going to be our challenge for the next 6 weeks, trying to understand the relationship between nature and humans and really what we can learn from that relationship. So I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favorite books. Please email me if you have any questions, and good luck reading.